Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. How are we all doing? God, it's wet, it's miserable outside, so we'll stay indoors and we'll talk about some films, shall we? Yet the weekly watches, we've got 9 things to talk about this week, which not a bad amount. I don't think there'll be that many next week. Quite a busy week. We're going out for the day today. There's quite a bit of football on the telly this week, and yeah, so make the most of it film packed week this week. I say that, I'll probably watch a few, you know what I'm like. But anyway, let's roll the credits and we'll get on with it. Right, I started off the week with a rewatch of End of Days from 1999, directed by Peter Hyams, starring obviously the man Arnie, Gabriel Byrne, Robin Tooney, Kevin Pollock, CCH Pounder, Marion Margolis. I think wasn't she in the Harry Potter films? I might be mistaken there. Mark Margolis, Rod Steiger. Yes, quite a stacked cast, and it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I remember liking it a lot more last time I seen it. I don't think it's aged very well. For me, it doesn't quite know what genre to aim for. Is it a horror film? Is it an action film? Or is it sort of like a poor attempt at both of them? Which, yeah, I thought it was definitely not top tier Arnie. If I was to rank Arnie films I'd seen, I think this would definitely be towards the bottom of the pile. A sort of a Omen rip-off where the stars have all aligned and what, and this woman has given birth to the baby that is going to mate with the devil played by Gabrielle Byrne later on in life and bring on the end of days. It's watchable, don't get me wrong, but there's just not a lot to it. You're far better off, if you want a horror film, watching The Omen, which is sort of like a much, much better take on this type of thing. Or if you want to watch an Arnie film, just watch one of the better ones, basically. Yeah, it's decent enough. It killed an hour and 40 minutes or whatever the runtime was. Gabriel Byrne was pretty devilish, as a devil as you would be. Yeah, it's all right. Not a lot to say on it, really. End of days. Next up was Lake Mungo from 2008, directed by Joel Anderson. I've never really heard of anybody in this film. Rosie Traynor, David Pledger, Martin Sharp, Talia Zucker. This film was sent over to me by Tim from Tim's Film Waffle. I'm sure you know Tim, great guy in the community, real sharp wit. Really enjoy his videos. Always never fails to make me laugh. I'll put his details down below. If you're not sub to Tim, go over, show him some love. Say I sent you over. Yeah, but Tim sent me over this one to watch a few weeks ago, and I just got to it, and I stuck it in the player. Didn't know anything about it whatsoever, and it started unfolding, and I thought, oh, it's a documentary, which I didn't realise. Yeah, I thought to myself, it's a documentary, and it's all about this girl who dies in an accident on the titular Lake Mungo, and then strange things start happening to the family. Like they're making videos of different things, and the girl is appearing on the video and stuff like that, and it's getting genuinely creepier and creepier. And then you find out that this girl, before her death, had other things going on in her life, and it's really quite creepy and gets under your skin. And for half of the film, as I say, I thought it was a documentary. I thought it was true until things started coming together a bit where you think, well, that's a bit too much of a coincidence for it to be real. And then I realised it was in the style of a documentary. A mockumentary, I think they called it, which made me feel a little bit better because it was really getting under my skin. But overall, it did really creep me out. Like, it's one of the creepiest things I've seen for a long time. There was one, and like, I'm going to spoil it a bit, so if you're going to watch it, maybe not listen to this bit. There was one bit where they'd found out that the girl before her death had buried her mobile phone and possessions out in some woods. So they went to they went to the exact place where they'd known the girl had buried her stuff, and they dug up her mobile phone. And when they turned her phone on, there was actually images of her being dead in the future type thing. So she sort of like foresaw her own death in a video. Yeah, really, really creepy. It got under my skin, and I'm not going to lie, I had to run to go to the toilet when I got out of bed in the middle of the night. Yeah, spooked me out, Tim. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. We'll definitely want to. I'll keep in the collection and watch it again in the future. Maybe show it to Mrs. Blu-Roy, actually, because it was one that I watched alone. I think she might get something out of this. Yeah, Lake Mungo. Yeah, good stuff. And next up, a rewatch for me of Robin Hood from 2018, directed by Otto Bathurst, starring Taron Egerton, Jamie Foxx, Ben Mendelsohn, Eve Hewson, Jamie Dornan, Tim Minchin, believe it or not. And yeah, I think this is pretty much derided, but I'm not going to say a guilty pleasure. I've said like many times before, like never be guilty about stuff that you like. But yeah, it's a film that I enjoy. There's a lot of more modern takes on the Robin Hood story, and I think that upsets a few people. Like there's sort of machine gun action crossbows and stuff like that, which I quite enjoyed that aspect. It looked a bit dangerous, or arrows flying everywhere. Yeah, you all know the Robin Hood story. He comes back from the Christian Crusades with Jamie Foxx in tow, who had saved his life and is now indebted to Robin Hood. When he gets back, he finds the Sheriff of Nottingham, played actually very well by Ben Mendelsohn. I think he makes a good sheriff in this, very much chewing the scenery. Yeah, really good. He'd taken his house because he'd been presumed dead in the wars. Eve Hewison, his girlfriend, Lady Marion, she'd now formed a relationship with Jamie Dornan, and there's like the political side of it against the sheriff, and basically the sheriff's absolutely raping the townspeople of all their money to send over to the Christian Crusade war efforts, but it turns out that the money's not even going to the war effort. Yeah, good stuff. I really enjoy it. It's not as good as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, in my opinion. It's maybe on a par with the Russell Crowe film, which I actually also like. Yeah, I've quite not a lot to say to it. You all know the Robin Hood story is robbing from the rich to give to the poor. Yeah, good stuff, and one for definitely keeping the collection, and I could see myself watching it again in the future. And up next, my second viewing this year of Saturday Night Fever from 1977, directed by John Badham, starring obviously John Travolta. Then you got Karen Lynn Gorney, Barry Miller, Joseph Cayley, Donna Pescow, who I like. She's really good in this. Donna Pescow is this woman that She was always chasing John Travolta around, but he wasn't really interested, and he was just playing her about much until he thought she was going to go with his mates. Then he suddenly had a new interest in her. Yes, Saturday Night Fever. Like I said, I watched it for the first time ever earlier in this year, and decided I'd watch it with Mrs. Blu-Roy. I think it was last Sunday night. And yeah, we really enjoy it. I don't often watch the same film twice in a year, so that just goes to show how much I think of this one. I'd always put it off for years and years, thinking that it's going to be another sort of terrible Grease type film. And I can't stand Grease. But no, I think very misunderstood, definitely by me. Oh, I've got a magpie looking in at me from the window. Hello. Stares straight in the window. One for sorrow, isn't it? Definitely not sorrow with Saturday Night Fever. Anyway, yeah, really, really enjoyed this film. Like I say, very, very dark sort of film. Very polar opposite to Grease, which is probably why I like it. It's all about John Travolta and his relationship with his friends and how they're all getting on, all set around John Travolta trying to win this disco dancing competition, which at first he was going to enter with Donna Pescow. Then Karen Lynn Gorney, her character, comes on the scene, and he falls head over heels with her, even though like she's like total opposite to his normal type of girl. She's quite well refined, but I think a lot of her refinement is put on, and he's trying to woo her at the same time as winning this disco competition. Very 1970s. I love the 1970s. Definitely my favourite era of films. Would you like to see a top 10 70s film from me? That might be an idea for a video. Yeah, I love the 70s, the aesthetics, the political incorrectness of it all, just marvellous. And this film is definitely politically incorrect. You can't like throw wokeness at this one at all. Yes, Saturday Night Fever. If it, like me, you slept on it because you think disco dancing is not going to be for you, give it a watch. Yeah, really, really, really good. And the music too, fantastic. Favourite of mine now. Great film. Up next, from 1970, directed by Arthur Penn, Dustin Hoffman, Faye Dunaway, Chief Dan George, Martin Balsam, Richard Mulligan, and that's Little Big Man, not Pequeno Gran Hombre, as on the title. Yeah, I don't know why I've got a Spanish DVD copy of this, but I just have no idea why. Yeah, Little Big Man, a first time watch, and one that I know Stuart's watched quite recently, and I know he really, really liked it, and I think Jodie, well, she's a Hoffman fan. She's definitely Dustin Hoffwoman, Jodie. Yeah, I know she likes this one as well, and I don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but I wouldn't say to the levels that Stuart and Jodie did recently. It's all right. Follows Hoffman's character from a young boy where his family get killed by Indians. Then him and his sister are taken in by another Indian tribe. And then it's basically his life story there where he's sort of in and out with the Indians, really. He goes from Indian tribe to gunslinger with Wild Bill Hillcock, Wild Bill. Blanking on that. But I quite enjoyed that part about it. Then alcoholic, then back in with the tribes and in and out with them. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Like I say, maybe on another watch I'll appreciate it more. The favourite thing about westerns is me is like the camaraderie with other cowboys and how they get on and the toing and froing. And yeah, It didn't have a lot of that for me. Like I like a lot darker westerns, I think. I mean, I watched it only a few days ago and struggling to remember a lot about it. I know it's just going to be going wild now. It was all right. Don't get me wrong. And like I say, maybe another watch it'll go up in the estimations. Yeah, Little Big Man. Up next, I delved into this adventures set here to watch the first in the series, which is Adventures of a Taxi Driver. Now, this is from 1976, directed by Stanley Long, all-star British cast, familiar face after familiar face, including Barry Evans, the lead character, who, if you're familiar with Mind Your Language, you'll know him. The lovely Judy Geeson, Diana Dawes, Liz Fraser from the Carry On films, Stephen Lewis, who is Blakey from On the Buses, Robert Lindsay, Citizen Smith, Ian Lavender from Dad's Army, and yeah, this was pretty terrible, to be honest. Now, I'd watched the Confessions films. I've got a 3-pack DVD set somewhere that I had from my late uncle's collection when he passed away, and they're a lot more enjoyable than this was. This is sort of like a Carry On with more boobs, but pretty bad. It's not really a story in it, it's just a collection of sketches and happenings of what happens to this guy along a couple of typical working days where he's always picking up birds and they're throwing themselves at him. Yeah, it's just watch a Carry On film. I think they're a lot better and a lot funnier than this. Or if you've got the options, I think the Confession films also are better than this. The Confession films are definitely like more bawdier than this. This has got a lot of boobs. I don't know how to put this sensitively. This has got a lot of boobs in it. I think the Confession films go a lot, shall we say, deeper with the sex scenes. Yeah, it's all right. It passed an hour and a half. It's worth a chuckle. I think this is supposed to be the best film out of the three, which isn't really enamouring me to watch the other two. The other two, Private Eye and Plumber's Mate. So, yeah, I'm actually quite. I'll have a look, see how bad they are. But yeah, this could be the Blu-Roy bag of bollocks for the week. Adventures of a Taxi Driver. There's a lot of special features on here. Look, pause it if you want to have a look. I don't think I can bring myself to trawl through them, to be honest. But yeah, very British at the time. Yeah, not decent, not bad artwork though, is it? Up next, another rewatch. Atomic Blonde from 2017, directed by David Leitch. And yes, real stacked cast in this one. Charlize Theron, obviously, James McAvoy, Eddie Marsan, John Goodman, Toby Jones, Sophia Botella, Bill Skarsgård, to name a few. And yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's again nothing really special. This is about Theron's character, and it's set in East Germany at the time the Berlin Wall was falling. She's got to meet up with another, because she's a secret agent in the Cold War, and she's got to go and meet up with James McAvoy character because there's a list of double agents that's gone missing. Yeah, very familiar. I think the Mission Impossible first one has a similar sort of plot. This list has gone missing and must be retrieved, or all these secret agents, double identities, are going to break loose, and then all hell will get set loose. Yeah, it's all right. It's watchable. A very convoluted plot. I know I'm not the brightest tool in the box, but yeah, it's a lot of here, back there, and everywhere with the plot, and I was struggling to keep up with who was the good guy and who was double crossing who at times. Very good action, very well made, very well shot. Charlize looks lovely in it, so that's worth watching for that. McAvoy is always good. Always like it. Marsden and Toby Jones, they're two my favourite British actors. Yeah, it's decent. It's watchable. Nice to see it just for the historical part of it and watching the wall fall down and that. Yeah, certainly a very historic part of history. And I think I've heard there's a second one coming out, which I'd certainly like to watch. I know it's a good few years since they made this one. What was it? 2017. So 8 years. So let's see where they go further with the character. Yeah, Atomic Blonde. It's decent. Nothing to write home about, but one worthy of the collection. Next up, as much as I like Saturday Night Fever, this is my watch of the week, and I might go as far as saying the best first time watch of the year so far, which I'm on to 300 plus films this year, and definitely for a first time watch, this is the one that I've enjoyed the most. This was absolutely brilliant. Hatari from 1962, directed by Howard Hawks. What a filmography, Howard Hawks. Gentlemen Prefer Bronze, This Girl Friday, Bringing Up Baby, The Big Sleep, Rio Bravo, Scarface, Red River, Only Angels Have Lit Wings, El Dorado, Monkey Business, Rio Lobo, Sergeant York. The list goes on and on. What a filmography. Right, stars John Wayne, Hardy Kruger, who, from one of my favourite films, The One Who Got Away, Elsa Martinelli. I don't think I've seen anything else, but she's really good. Red Buttons, brilliant in this. Bruce Cabot, who, again, another actor I really like. Yeah, Hatari. I've never really heard of it before. Maybe because I was a Nintendo fan as a kid. That was a terrible joke. Hatari, yeah. This is about John Wayne, and he's got together with his band of guys, and what a close-knit group of mates they are. They're in Africa, and at the higher of zoos, they go once a year in hunting season to hunt down and capture all the wild animals that zoos request for him to ship back to wherever to fill up their quota of animals in the zoos. And it's just brilliant. I really, really had a good time with it. Elsa Martinelli, she's sort of introduced as the love interest to Wayne. And yeah, really, really good stuff. Really great to watch. The camaraderie that Wayne had with his crew was brilliant to watch, even though he's like a grumpy, grouchy type character. It's beautifully shot, really good to look at. I know it's probably going to upset people in this day and age, but the scenes where they're capturing the animals are really incredibly done. How they did it, I don't know. I'd like to watch a making of documentary, because it really looks like the actors are up close and personal with these rhinoceroses and elephants and giraffes and wildebeest, and the scenes where they catch just incredible. Like, you've got John Wayne strapped into a seat on the bonnet of a Jeep with a noose on the end of a big pole, and another Jeep on the other side of the animal as they're chasing it along, trying to capture it and get his noose over it. Like, yeah, really, really good stuff. Really entertaining. I think it's like a 2.5 hour film, and the runtime just absolutely zipped on along in it. It's perfectly paced. Red Buttons, he's played like this character, the little guy. You know, you've probably seen him from the Poseidon Adventure, the little guy in the Poseidon Adventure. Very there for comic relief in this, and yeah, just a great character. Red Buttons was really growing on me as an actor. Red Buttons. I need to watch more of his stuff. Yeah, Hatari. If like me, you've slept on it, give it a watch because it's really, really wonderful. I'm gonna have to try. I think there's a foreign Blu-ray for it. I think I'm gonna have to try and crack that down. I think actually in the States, Kino Lorber might have bought out a 4K, I seem to remember. Maybe Jim, if you're watching, if you let me know down below. Yeah, Hatari, really, really good. Howard Hawks, man, what a director. And to round the week off movie-wise was Dead Reckoning from 1946, directed by Jack Cromwell, starring Bogey himself, Humphrey Bogart, Elizabeth Scott, Morris Komofsky, Charles Kane, Marvin Miller. Decent film noir. I do like me film noir, and yeah, this was pretty decent. This is about Bogart's character. He comes back. He's a captain in World War II, and he comes back with his buddy, and they're due to receive medals. Particularly Bogart's buddy, who was a sergeant, and he was due to collect the Congressional Medal of Honor, which I don't know much about American medal hierarchy, but I believe that's one of their highest awards you can give a soldier. But on the eve of Bogart's buddy being presented this medal, he suddenly runs off and skips town and disappears, and later on winds up dead. And it turns out that before the war, this guy was wanted for the murder of Elizabeth Scott's husband, and changed his name and went off and joined the army to escape taking the rap for that, which was totally unbeknown to Bogart, who had really formed this relationship with him during the war. And then it's the tale of what happened with the murder, because the murder, it all unravels in film noir style. Is not what it seemed on the outside. It looked like it was an open and shut case that Bogart's buddy had murdered Scott's husband, but there was a hell of a lot going on with that. Yeah, real twisty, turny tale. A little bit, again, like Atomic Blonde. It was a bit convoluted. There's a lot to try and keep up with. A lot of the noirs are like that. You've got to really watch them going in untired with a clear head, because there's a lot of twists and turns I find generally in noir, and you've got to think about them. Yeah, really, really good. Glad I finally got round to it. Definitely one to stay in the Indicator collection. The sale should be coming up soon, so I'd say definitely pick it up for the £5 in the sale if you can. Do like Elizabeth Scott. I've only seen her in about 2 or 3 films, but she really elevates as an actress for me, and every time I see her, and don't think she was talked about like you do the other actresses at the time, the other like femme fatale type actresses. But yeah, she's really underrated. Like you hear a lot about Veronica Lake and Rita Hayworth and actresses of that at the time, but I do really like Elizabeth Scott. Too Late for Tears, she was bloody excellent in that. Yeah, that's another one, another that I recommend. I don't think that's Indicator, I think that's Arrow, so you're probably out of print by now, I would have thought. Yeah, Dead Reckoning, really, really, really good stuff. Oh, and just as a little side note, I've started watching Space 1999, which I hadn't seen for years, or as my French mate Amin calls it, Space Nifty Nifty Nif. Yeah, I hadn't seen this for years now. I was actually banned from watching it as a kid by my mum because I used to wake up screaming in the night. So it's been nice to get back reacquainted with this. I'm only a couple of episodes in. There's a lot of episodes to get up with, but obviously it's dated because it's 70s sci-fi, but it's just really nice to watch. Yeah, very much a thing of its time. But the first 2 episodes have been really good stories and really remind me of why before I was banned I used to like watching this. Yeah, Martin Landau and Barbara Bain. She's easy on the eye. This, yeah, good stuff. Space 1999. I'll continue on with that. So that's it for the week, guys. Any comments on the films I've watched? Whether my opinions you think are right, whether you think they're god awful, let me know down below. I know Stuart might be upset that I thought Little Big Man was just okay. Yeah, I could almost see him in the comments now. Give me a thumbs up if you've liked what I've done here today. Maybe think about subscribing. They're creeping up. I've had a few new subscribers recently, so thanks very much. Welcome aboard, and obviously welcome existing subscribers as well. Keep the comments coming. Love the comments, as I always say. That's my favourite part of doing YouTube, the interaction. Thanks very much, guys. I'll catch you all later. Ta-ra.